Okay, everybody can go ahead and take their seats. Obesity has become an epidemic in the U.S. More than 58 million Americans are overweight. That includes at least 1 in 5 children. Think about that. 1 in 5 children are diagnosed as obese according to the ADA. Scary thought. Obesity is defined through Wikipedia as a body weight that is greater than 30% above the favorable target weight. When this awful disease is diagnosed, 3 major stressors develop: communication, financial, and of course health complications. Diabetes affects more than the individual diagnosed. It's really a disease that hits the entire family. I learned that when I worked directly with the ADA when I raised funds for the Step Out event on August 25th in Olin Park in Madison. Through my fundraising events, I met what they call a Red Strider. A Red Strider is someone who is diagnosed with the disease. Red Strider I met was Hope. Hope is just a teenager, but she was diagnosed with the disease when she was 7 years old. She went through a lot of struggles just to even be diagnosed. She continued to lose weight. Family and doctors really weren't sure why. They put her on several different medications, all unfortunately which just made the diabetes worse, and therefore her condition deteriorated until she was hospitalized. And through her hospital stay of about a week, that's when she actually was diagnosed with diabetes. Now her parents were forced to explain why at the age of 7 she could no longer have cake for birthdays, or when she went to birthday parties, why she couldn't partake in the celebration cake as well. Not really something that's easy to explain to a 7-year-old. The parents were also deeply affected. They didn't understand why their daughter had this awful disease. You know, they struggled with it. Did they miss something? Did they miss a warning sign they should have caught? But unfortunately, sometimes warning signs are so obscure that we miss them. Diabetes definitely adds a financial strain to families. With or without insurance, the extra cost of medications and the doctor's visits can be overwhelming. According to the American Diabetes Association, individuals with diabetes spend an additional $4,100 more on annual medical costs. $4,100, that's a lot. And that's if one family member has the disease. That can mean that they have to bypass a family vacation. I mean, what's that going to do to your communication with your family? What if you have other, family members that are resistant to that feel that you single-handedly took away their vacation? We can definitely see how that could also be a stressor to the family. Not only that, but the parents might have to work additional hours to get a second job to pay for those expenses. Not everybody has an additional $4,100 so they can just spend on healthcare costs, when food sometimes is a struggle to put on the table. So when we work those extra hours and we've had long, hard weeks, I know myself, I'm not going to come home and make a dinner. I'm going to pick up some takeout on the way home, which is only going to perpetuate that awful food choices and make the disease worse. Individuals with diabetes are at risk of health complications. That includes stroke, heart disease, eye, foot, or skin complications. Families might find themselves faced with the hospital stays, medication adjustments, or more lifestyle changes in order to just cope with the secondary effects. Sometimes medications that we're prescribed gives us awful side effects. And to make that medication tolerable, we're prescribed another medication to combat those side effects. And that only, increases that financial strain with our family. Diabetes is not something you can cure with a pill. It's a lifestyle change. So families dealing with diabetes can also suffer from communication challenges. Parents who have adult children with the disease are definitely at risk for this. Imagine if you're 40 years old and your mom's calling you, checking out to say, hey, did you take your medication today? Did you remember to go exercise? What'd you eat? Nobody likes to be nagged, and if we're nagged, we're probably going to avoid that person who's nagging, even though they only have our best interest at heart. So it's important that we find other communication aspects and avenues to combat that potential. Diabetes affects everyone. It's imperative that everyone knows the impact poor nutrition and lack of exercise will have on themselves and their loved ones. Diabetes causes unwanted stress due to communication, financial stressors, and health complications. This is a growing problem in America, and we need to take action now. This is the time to get up and move. It can be simple at first. Just park further away from the entrance of the store you're going to, or take the stairs instead of the escalator. It's up to us to change our fate.